So there have been maybe 7 AI winters over the past 70 years. And I help run a VC firm, and I would say that when we see new technology emerging into the market, one of my litmus tests, because I'm a classically trained engineer, is I want to see it with my own eyes before I trust it. Anyone else like that, or is it just me? Yeah. So about a year or 2 ago, we started hearing all this stuff about large language models and AI. And as you've seen from the previous sessions, there's a lot of awesome stuff out there. But I was in the middle of writing some apps in Swift, and I was like, I just want to see this with my own eyeballs. I want to see it work. I want to see it help me to actually be more productive. So I was like, what is my least favorite task when writing code? And who knows what a unit test is in the audience? So those are the software developers. A unit test is where I write a piece of code. Let's say I want to add variable A to variable B. And then I populate variable A with 1, populate variable B with 2, and if the result is 3, then my code is working as intended. I'm pretty decent at test-driven development, which is starting my development practice by planning the tests before I write a single line of code. That works great with large atomic operations. And what an atomic operation is it's a larger collection of things or functions that we then have be a thing. So you click a button on Facebook. Under the hood, there's like probably 1,000 endpoints getting touched. But in the app, you just see that one thing, so atomic operation. So I'm usually pretty good at saying, what are the test cases I need for that? But then when I start actually writing code, I change the order of functions, I add functions, I remove functions, and in Swift, there's a lot of different data types, and the next thing I know, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that's not testable, nor observable if you're into observable frameworks. So what I decided to do was experiment around with these large language models to use the latest buzz and see if it could actually help me in this process. So my tool that I open sourced, so I don't have a commercial tool that I'm pimping. Sorry, I don't know if I'm even supposed to say that. But I don't have a commercial tool that I'm here in support of. But I am unleashing the creativity here of OpenAI. So with this tool, you install it, and then the next thing you know, you enter an API key. This is why it can't live on the Apple App Store. No third-party apps that use third-party API keys can be on the App Store. So you give it your API key, and once you do, this is IDE, Xcode for writing iOS apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a function that I've written, and then I'm going to say, write me a test case for that function. And so what this is going to do is it's going to reach out to the OpenAI API, and it's going to write my test case. So what I can then do, by the way, I comment everything that's returned with this because I don't trust code written by AI quite yet. So then I can highlight it if I like what it wrote, and in this case I don't know because I'm not reading it before I do this, and I can undo my comments, and boom, I now have a test case for this function using the XC test framework from Apple. If I change my mind, I can always Command-Z, and boom, I'm back. Now, once I did this, I was like, can I do a little bit more? Can I actually just have it do my job? Can I have it write my code? So to use that example from earlier, I want to write a function that adds A plus B. So the Xcode source extensions allow you to have multiple commands that they can run. And in this case, I'm going to fire up editor. I'm again going to use my second thing that I wrote, which doesn't have a great name because I was like, do my day job for me. I don't know if I should put that in a place where people can see it and then I don't have a day job. But yeah, write this function for me. So here we go. It adds A and B, very simple. And again, I can uncomment that code and it is live. Then when I go to compile it, I am good to go if it's testable, because I can then reselect it and say, write me my test case now that you've written me my code. And then I don't have to do anything. I can just drink coffee and no. I obviously had too much coffee before I got up here. So yeah, that's TestBerry. It's open source. I also opened it with a completely wide open license. I did not feel like writing a microservice to escrow my API token. So if anyone does feel like doing that and monetizing it, go for it. Then I don't have to maintain this code long term. Because if you can't tell by the fact that I've got AI writing my stuff, I'm kind of lazy. So thank you very much, and yeah, that's TestBerry.